Hey, it's me, Wanda B, and I'm here with the guys from Talking Cool Podcast. I'm here with the Will Smith, our Will Smith, here at IntellectualRadio.com. And we were just having a discussion. I don't know if you tuned in, but you got to tune in to the series, Talking Cool. You got his whole series he's been doing on manhood. And it moved me because I'm raising men, or trying to. And I kind of leave a lot of this stuff to their dad. But at the same time, this brought me to a conversation I felt I need to have with my son, because a lot of times we hoping they know this information these guys just shared with us, but they may not. And I was like, you know what? I need to share this. But as a mom, this may be a conversation I need to have. I know there's a level of manhood. I'm a woman all day, and I know teach a girl how to be a woman. But teach a man how to be a man, that's not me. So I was relying on Will Smith here from Talking to a Podcast to answer a couple questions for me. Hey, Will. And this is your guest.
How you guys doing this best from the west side of Chicago?
South side. West side. We won't fight over that today. The show, give us a quick recap of your manhood series you've been doing.
Mama said that this feels gonna keep. We have been doing a two-parter so far on manhood. What is the definition of manhood? Who decides what manhood is? I've heard so many people use manhood to justify poor decisions, to justify their behaviors. And then I know a lot of people just, we got a lot of women listeners, who raising young men. We got a lot of young men who don't have men to talk to. And so not only, have I been a therapist, for over 10 years, a licensed clinical therapist at Cool Concept Outside Ordinary Limits. We help people be better. 708-405-9569 is what we do. But, I have clients who are just trying to navigate this thing called life. And manhood, my manhood was affected, my manhood. And so I said, man, it would be cool to do some shows on like what is manhood, and I got, when I was a federal officer for 23 years, I've heard people justify criminal activity. I've heard them justify why they going back to jail for another offense, and they would Officer Smith, I'm a man. Officer Smith, you know what? I'm a man. Well, if you was a man, you'd be here for your mama, because now she's not going to have you. You'd be here for your kids. Now you got to explain to baby girl and baby boy why daddy about to be locked up for another two years, 18 months, whatever, and why you're going to be working this labor at the jail for free because it's big billions of business dollars. So decided to do a show. Last week we painted like the picture of this thing called manhood and looked at it. And this time, I don't corner the market. I would say I don't corner the market on having the correct answer. And so I asked, my good friend Batch to come in to provide some wisdom on what he maybe thought was a manhood. It might be totally different from my perspective. So how can I give our listening audience the best concepts on what manhood is and how to navigate this thing called life, so your manhood ideology won't be a detriment to how you live and how you operate and how you prosper in life.
Thank you. So here on Intellectual Radio, we like to feed your brain. And so I love that I have intelligent people, intellectuals around me that I can ask questions of. And after listening to the show, like I said, go back, rewind, go to YouTube, go to intellectualradio.com, wherever you like to listen or watch one of our podcasts, please go back and do it. This is worth it, especially raising young men. If you are a man, you may need, whoever may need this, I don't know, please go back and listen to it. But my question was, I am the mom of sons, but right now my youngest son is in college, and I believe he's navigating a young manhood. But what I'm most afraid of, or what I wanted guidance with, is being in the situation that you're friends with guys doing one thing and you have to make the right decision to walk away. This situation is not serving you. This could get your consequences. Now, true, the consequences may not happen, but how it's easy to say walk away. But it was my question kind of how? How do you do it without looking like, because some men, some boys don't want to look like the weak one who's walking away and running away from a situation when everybody's going all in. And some ways to how do you do that? Was It's easy to tell people what not to do, but sometimes I think sometimes they need to know how to do it.
Yeah,
That was my question.
yeah, and I'm gonna turn it over to Fats because he was giving some good insight.
He
The
did.
show after the show, the after show stuff is kind of what sparked this. But it's all about part of it is knowing who you are, your core beliefs, and there's sometimes it's not easy to do the right thing. That we got to get this thing. It's easy. It's easy. Now sometimes it's not easy to do the right thing. Sometimes it's hard to say no. Sometimes it's hard to walk the other way. Sometimes it's hard to turn the other cheek. For all my scriptural people out, it ain't easy. And so, how do you do it? What's the Christmas song? You put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. You gotta put one foot in front of the other. Turn around and walk the other way. And so, but Fats was laying it down because he was giving a perspective on some life experiences where he had to actually turn the other cheek, walk the other way, weigh the outcome, weigh his options. And so, talk about that fact and that wisdom, that knowledge that you kick to the people.
Well, sometimes being strong and tough, I'm going back to your manhood perspective. Being strong and being tough ain't about being a man. People think, oh, I'm strong, I'm tough, I'm a man. No, being smart and respectful and making smart decisions, smart choices make you a man. Being there for your family, like as Will said, being there for your family. When you make a decision, you got to live by that decision. Uh, Trouble is easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. If that makes sense. Trouble easy to get into, but it's hard to get out of. So you got to make the right decision. And of course, no, it's not easy to just say no. Like they said, just say no, just walk away. It's not easy, but in the long run, it's worth it. You have to really think, take that 10 seconds and think about the choice I'm about to make. Is it worth the consequences that's going to come from the choice that I make? You really have to think about that.
You brought up a point when we were previously kind of talking about this too. It and I think you both have said it, that this definition of manhood is being making that choice is
Making that choice is being a man. Being responsible is being a man. Thinking about what you can lose is being a man. That's the big part of being a manhood. Not walking around flexing, showing your biceps. Yeah, anybody you can lift
running
weights,
into trouble.
run into trouble. No, that's not being a man. That's not being a man. That's being a child, actually. That's being a child, because you gotta think about children make when they don't know, they do bad. But when you become a man, you put those childish things away and you do mannish things.
So a lot of times the adult manly decision is something, because it's very easy to go towards the trouble, like you said, and harder to get out of it, but it's easy to get into it because usually it's right there. Everything's right in front of you. You could run into it, but to run the other way, run away from the fire. And I think one thing you said, and I don't know how to paraphrase this, but it's like not getting into this ego of it, but thinking of what you have to lose, and not getting into the ego of how other people right in this circle will think of you.
A lot of people think about, oh, what they're gonna say about me, how they're gonna look at me. Think about, I still goes back to the home. I came from three sisters and two brothers. So I had a really, like, what they thought about me, what outside people thought about me, I didn't care, because my home was so, and we didn't seen each other in some of the worst conditions. We didn't seen each other in some of the best conditions. So what an outside person think about me, it didn't matter. So that goes to my age now, where what an outside person don't care about. I don't care what an outside person about me. It's about my home, my family. And if I do something dumb or do something get me in trouble, that's who it's gonna reflect back on. As a man, anything I do in my family, it reflects back on my family. So I try to me myself, I try to do things and I always think about that 10-second rule. Take 10 seconds before you make a reaction or before you do something. I think about that. Because I'd admit, before I became the wisdom with the gray, I made decisions, I made choices that was not smart. Because I didn't take that 10 seconds, I moved on emotions. I moved on emotion instead of taking those 10 seconds and think about, how would this affect my family?
Thank you. And I think that I love that that's something I can take away from it. And one thing I'm hearing, because as you guys are both giving me great advice, like I said, rewatch the show. This will help fill in a lot of the gaps. But what I'm going to take away from this is to constantly tell my son how proud I am of him, and for him to be reminded of the core and who he's his why he's doing
Right.
the things he has, so it could be at top of mind that these people love me, and so he knows who and from a positive place, not reactionary that he's already done the deed, but constantly feeding him with the power to know that we have his back and we're there for him, so we can come top of mind if anything ever transpires, that he knows, oh no, my parents will get my parents expect this of me. So I remember those little bracelets they had at one. What would Jesus do? And that was supposed to keep Jesus kind of at the top of mind, like what would he do and what. Well, I'm gonna be the what would my mama and daddy say bracelet in his head, and so constantly feeding him with the love and the power to know that we have his back, and if he walks away, we will have his back, and that,
Mhm.
so I that's what
And
I'm going to take
and
from
another
that.
thing, it's a song that said, "People you think your friends really ain't your friends because your friend, if you with some people, your friend's not gonna let you get into trouble that you shouldn't get into.
All right.
True friends, true friends."
And for all the women that are watching, who are mothers, who are aunties, who are helping to raise a young man, moms, grandmothers, you know, you know, I remember you were saying in the after show, you know, you wasn't sure how the conversations were going with other people, you know, uh, you know, just dads and moms dialogue with their kids in different ways.
Mhm.
Like dads relate to their boys in different ways than what mom, because dads have, you know, iron sharpens iron. So
Yes.
there's a different way that we communicate, and even though sometimes it may not seem as emotionally triggered, or the, we because you know the thing I tell moms to ask, or women to ask their sons, or you know, what happened, you
Mhm.
know, what was going on. Because I need to know what you were thinking. Because when I see what you were thinking, that helps me decide if the decision that you made was
A legitimate
appropriate.
decision. Yeah.
If I can see your point of view, and if I don't see your point of view, then I can point out, well, what about this? And well, how did that turn out? Or now I can maybe help them, instead of telling them what they didn't do, what they should have done, and what didn't happen. They can process the moment for themselves. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have did this, and
Mhm.
I probably, it's like reading the defense for the football season. The Bears are playing now. Caleb Williams, they're doing their thing, and so but they go look at the tape after the game, and so after the tape they can see everything that happened. And Caleb, you threw the interception, but we had a man open here. And Caleb can look at the tape and like, I should have switched the receivers over here. I should have audible there. And yep, you're right, coach. That man, right. So I don't have to preach to you or tell you. You can look at the tape, because at certain ages already, they should be, if what you've done is all you can do.
Yep.
As a parent at a certain age, like my son is 30, we have a lot of conversations, but and I try to help him navigate. But he already know. Like if he don't know by now, with all the lessons, with all the lectures, because he recants a whole bunch of stories and dialogues and talks that we had. I have no, like, Dad, remember that time you told me? No, I really don't. But long as you remember them,
You
Right.
got it.
that's what's important. And so so even when I'm dead and gone, I want the lessons of life, the lectures, to still echo in their head. And so they have to look at the video of life. And if you can help them navigate that in a non-confrontational, in a non, because you're still gonna be mom. And I still, mom, I'm not a kid no more. And I still, okay, all right. And because the best part of it is that his change and his thought process doesn't really take place until after we finish talking. So after I leave mom and I'm driving, yeah, she do that.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, that might be right. Yeah. Well, I still, well, she don't understand, but maybe
What?
next time I'm not gonna do this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys. That was very helpful. Just a quick, I really want you to go back, rewind, watch this show, watch Talking Cool podcast. He's here Saturdays at noon, but go back and watch some of the past shows. It's going to be worth it for you, okay? Thank you, Will. Thank you, Fats. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. And you guys have been tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com. I want to be. That's Will Smith, the other Will Smith. Thank you guys so much. IntellectualRadio.com.
I got it from my brother, but I leave it with mom, so it's protecting my mother. Yeah, yeah. Oh.